निःश्रेयसकराबुभौ तयोस्तु कर्म संन्यासा कर्मयोगो विशिष्यते ज्ञेयः स नित्यसंन्यासी यो न द्वेष्टि न काङ्क्षति निर्द्वन्द्वो हि महाबाहो सुखं बन्धात् प्रमुच्यते सांख्ययोगौ पृथग् बालाः प्रवदन्ति न पण्डिताः एकमप्यास्थितः सम्यग् उभयोर्विन्दते फलम् यत्साङ्ख्यैः प्राप्यते स्थानम् तद्योगैरपि गम्यते एकं साङ्ख्यं च योगं च यः पश्यति स पश्यति सन्न्यासस्तु महाबाहो दुःखमाप्तुमयोगतः योगयुक्तो मुनिर्ब्रह्मा न चिरेणाधिगच्छति योगयुक्तो विशुद्धात्मा विजितात्मा जितेन्द्रियः सर्वभूतात्मभूतात्मा कुर्वन्नपि न लिप्यते नैव किञ्चित् करोमीति युक्तो मन्येत तत्त्ववित् पश्यन् शृण्वन् स्पृशन् जिघ्रन् अश्नन् गच्छन् स्वपन् श्वसन् प्रलपन् विसृजन् गृह्णन् उन्मिषन् निमिषन्नपि इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेषु वर्तन्त इति धारयन् ब्रह्मण्याधाय कर्माणि सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा करोति यः लिप्यते न स पापेन पद्मपत्रमिवाम्भसा कायेन मनसा बुद्ध्या केवलैरिन्द्रियैरपि योगिनः कर्म कुर्वन्ति सङ्गं त्यक्त्वात्मशुद्धये युक्तः कर्मफलं त्यक्त्वा शान्तिमाप्नोति नैष्ठिकीम् अयुक्तः कामकारेण फले सक्तो निबध्यते सर्वकर्माणि मनसा सन्न्यस्यास्ते सुखं वशी नवद्वारे पुरे देहि नैव कुर्वन्न कारयन् न कर्तृत्वं न कर्माणि लोकस्य सृजति प्रभुः न कर्मफलसंयोगम् स्वभावस्तु प्रवर्तते नादत्ते कस्यचित् पापम् न चैव सुकृतं विभुः अज्ञानेनावृतं ज्ञानं तेन मुह्यन्ति जन्तवः ज्ञानेन तु तदज्ञानं येषां नाशितमात्मनः तेषामादित्यवज्ञानं प्रकाशयति तत्परम् तन्निष्ठास्तत्परायणाः गच्छन्त्य पुनरावृत्तिं ज्ञाननिर्धूतकल्मषाः विद्याविनयसम्पन्ने ब्राह्मणे गविहस्तिनि शुनि चैवश्वपाके च पण्डिताः समदर्शिनः इहैव चैर्जितः सर्गो येषां साम्ये स्थितं मनः निर्दोषं हि समं ब्रह्म तस्माद् ब्रह्मणि ते स्थिताः न प्रहृष्येत् प्रियं प्राप्य नोद्विजेत् प्राप्य च प्रियम् स्थिरबुद्धिरसम्मूढो ब्रह्मविद्ब्रह्मणि स्थितः बाह्यस्पर्शेष्वसक्तात्मा विन्दत्यात्मनि यत्सुखम् स ब्रह्मयोगयुक्तात्मा सुखमक्षयमश्नुते ये हि संस्पर्शजा भोगा दुःखयोनय एव ते आद्यन्तवन्तः कौन्तेय न तेषु रमते बुधः हिते रताः कामक्रोधविमुक्तानां यतीनां यतचेतसाम् अभितो ब्रह्मनिर्वाणं वर्तते विदितात्मनां स्पर्शान् कृत्वा बहिर्बाह्यां चक्षुश्चैवान्तरे भ्रुवोः प्राणापानौ समौ कृत्वा नासाभ्यन्तरचारिणौ
Good evening, one and all, to be with us again this evening, the Sunday evening, to continue with our Gita Success Mantra sessions. And thank you very much for so enthusiastically participating for the quiz. Every two quizzes, we will be announcing the names of those people who will score 4 marks. Please feel free to put your questions on the chat box as well as that question answer portal so that from 8 to 8:15, we can pick up the questions of our audience. And I again welcome this evening Shri Vrijikrishna Das ji. Very gracefully, he is with us today to give us an overview and outlook for fifth chapter of the great literature, Srimad Bhagavad Gita. I welcome him and I request all of you, please be attentive as he gives us in the journey of our wisdom, the knowledge from the fifth chapter. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. So I welcome all of you for enthusiastically participating for this Bhagavad Gita knowledge. So today we are going to have something very special. So just wait for it. And topic today is peace formula. So here we begin it. So peace formula from Bhagavad Gita chapter 5. So just have a quick revision what we discussed last time. Mantra 10, approach a bona fide spiritual teacher to get knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Mantra 11, by knowing Lord's birth and activities are divine and Lord's love for us, we can be happy in our life. Mantra 12, no duty is inferior if it is connected to God. Mantra 13, A, B, C, D of spiritual life. Now, summary of the fifth chapter, what you are going to discuss today, freedom from all anxieties, which everyone is looking for. 3 doers, how any work happens. Am I the doer? Then who's the doer if I'm not the doer? Benefits of knowledge of soul. 18 to 19. Condition and conditionings and peace formula in practice. So let's have an exercise. So you're all sitting watching this class. So just let's have a simple exercise. What is that exercise is? Close your eyes and think that you have got a body which has such facilities. There is no fear of any disease, no fear of corona. You can go anywhere, any place. No fear of cancer, diabetes, fever, nothing, nobody can cut. You're completely fearless. In that body, you don't have to even attend nature's call also. Right? And without any train, without any car, without any aeroplane, you can go anywhere you wish in that body. So just imagine, just close your eyes and imagine such kind of a body that you can go anywhere with this body. And there is no fear of death. Even a nuclear missile comes and hits, nothing will happen to you. And no old age and no hunger. But anytime you want, any food is there for you to eat. Just think of such kind of a body that you've got it. Now write in the chat box, how did you feel if you get such a body? In case you get, so write in the chat in the live chat that how do you feel if you get such a body? So I'm seeing your chats. Yeah. Okay, it feels wholesome. Soumya. Then Sanya, it's incredible. Vikram, amazing. Grishma, divinely pleased. Kushi, feeling light. Kavita, amazing. Tarun Sai, I felt worthless to be honest. And Ravin Garg feels good. So very nice. So all of you have written very nice comments. So thank you. But today during the session, we will discuss that can we attain such a body? What's the possibility and what is the way? So stay tuned throughout the session. Be attentive. We will come to this point. Now, the first point which we are going to begin here, many of the anxieties we face in our life due to relationship problems. कभी हस्बैंड वाइफ में प्रॉब्लम हो गया है, समटाइम किसी फ्रेंड से झगड़ा हो गया है, या अपने टीचर से झगड़ा हो गया है, या some problem with the boss. So there is always some relationship issue. And can Bhagavad Gita help us? Can Bhagavad Gita help us to solve this relationship issues? That's what we are going to see. Freedom from anxieties. Because many of the anxieties in this world happen also due to relationships. So, what destroys relationships? Envy, grudges, selfishness, comparison, uncontrolled speech, greed, anger, not keeping promises. Like one marriage happened for 1.5 crore rupees was spent in the marriage, and after 1.5 years, the marriage broke. So, because there's so much of psychology mismatch, anger, and the relationships, they break. The good friends, they break the relationships. So here is a verse which talks about having good relationships. Please recite after me. Yog yukto vishud atma vijit atma jitendriyah sarvbhutatma bhutatma kurvan api na lipyate. One who works in devotion, who is a pure soul, and who control his mind and senses is dear to everyone, and everyone is dear to him. Though always working, such a man is never entangled. So, what is this formula? Let's see here. Work in devotion. The formula A, B, C, D. Now let's have a test. How many of you remember what we discussed in the session A, B, C, D? So write in the chat reply if you know the meaning of A, B, C, D, E. A for, so B for, C for, D for. So please write in the chat so I see how much you are remembering from the last session. So this is work in devotion. So this is the formula, if you remember last time we discussed. Okay, so Prithvi has written A for association, very nice. Same way B. Yes, B for books, Prithvi has written. And many Sanyal, Gayatri, so they all have written about A for association. C for chanting, again Prithvi has written. C for chanting, D for diet, and E for engagement. So this is a formula to work in devotion. Pure soul means always think good of others. Don't keep grudges. Give up envy, jealousy, and anger. Make friendship with people. Third, control your mind and senses. Give up intoxication if somebody has bad habits, extramarital relationships. So if one has this three formula, work in devotion, pure soul, control your mind and senses, naturally he develops a selflessness and make good relationship with everyone. Like in my life, I remember many of the incidences that happen. If you remember the first session, I gave example where I had a fight with my roommate. But when I went for a Gita course and attending the Kirtans, when I came back, I said, oh, I don't want to have fight with him. And I start talking to him. And many times it happened, there was a person who was little angry with me. So rather than I becoming angry with him, I went and asked him that, what can I do for you? Like, why are you angry with me? And then he said, and then we clarified and the problem got solved. So we can solve the problems with cool head, understanding others' problems. So now we are going to turning to a nice topic, working in the world without getting affected. So many of the times people have question, okay, you're talking the subject of Bhagavad Gita, but when I go outside and work in the outside world, people are not so good like all of you. I have to deal with all kinds of people. People do politics, people have all habits, and people smoke, people have this habits, and they speak ill words. How do I remain? How do I remain saintly? Or how do I apply the teaching of Bhagavad Gita in such a situation? So here Lord Krishna is giving answer to Arjuna. So what is this answer? Brahmanaya adhaya karmani sangam tyaktva karoti yaha lipyate na sa papena patra patram ivam bhasaha. See, just like you see this lotus flower, the lotus flower is born in a pond. A pond many times have the dirt, the keychad in it. But but the kamal, though it through its stem derive its nourishment from the same pond, but it never get touched by the dirty water of the pond. So this lesson we have to learn from this lotus flower. So in the same way, we may be living in a surrounding, we may be working over there, but when we are connected with God, when we are performing our duty without attachment, connecting to God, then we are not affected by our environment. And this is the art of work, as a lotus leaf is untouched by water. So what is the formula? Offers result to God of your work, peace. And if we become greedy, means very high expectations, then lot of anxiety. मेरे साथ ये क्यों नहीं हुआ, मेरे साथ वो क्यों नहीं हुआ. So this is the message of Bhagavad Gita, that how we can save ourselves from the anxieties of life. Now we are going towards an amazing concept which we have already discussed, but discuss in more depth and which will answer many of our questions. And what is it? It's law of karma. So let me ask you a few questions. Now we say something called chance. Chance था ऐसा हो गया है, chance था ऐसा नहीं हो गया है. But we do not know why anything happened and we call it as a chance. Suppose I toss a coin. So when I toss the coin, whether it's a head or whether it's a tail coming, because I do not know it, I say, okay, there's a chance head coming. But if you have to calculate, what is the viscosity of air, what is the, force you lift the coin with. So, so what will happen? We will come to know that it is not due to So we will come to know that it is not due to chance that this happened. It is due to something, a divine arrangement, that anything happening. So for example, so this Srila Prabhupada used to say, as soon as you say luck, as soon as you say luck, there must be somebody who is giving you the luck, good luck and bad luck. Just like in an airport, you go and the gate of the elevator automatically opened. But the child may say, Arey, how this elevator gate is opening? It is khulja simsim. But there are sensors kept in the lift or any door, and as soon as it detects you, what happens? It detects that the door is open. But because the child cannot know, he says that it's something, chance se ho gaya. So many times because we don't know things, we say it's a chance. But there's an arrangement. See, like we are living on planet Earth. Like even elephants get their food. So who has arranged the food for them, though they eat so much? Is a God who has put all vegetation on the plant so that elephants are there. So everything has an arrangement. Like we see here. But now ask this question. Some people are born rich, some are poverty stricken from birth, some are born handsome, some are born ugly. Now, who decides this, right? Who decides? See, we do not decide how we are, which family we are born. We do not decide our intelligence. We do not decide our face cut. Even one heroine did 4 operations to change the shape of her nose, but that still the shape of the nose did not change. So who decides that what should be the shape of my nose? But we may choose a job, we may choose a car, we may choose a spouse. So some things we are not able to choose, and some things we are able to choose. Now, things we are not able to choose in life, what is the basis about that? Now, if somebody is born in a poor family, is God partial to that person? Or is somebody born in a rich family, is God partial to him? No. How God is loving Father, how he can be partial? So therefore, we understand just like a judge gives reward to somebody, compensation of 1 lakh rupees for somebody and an imprisonment to one person, but the judge is impartial. In the same way, based on the activities of the individuals or karma done in the past, the judge gives different judgments according to the law. And who is governing this? Who is seeing ki what I have done in the past, in my past life or this life? It is the Lord, who is a Paramatma. The Lord is seated in our heart as a Paramatma or super soul, alongside of the soul as a witness to our activities. So now people ask, okay, if I am result, and many times we will see people, those people who are good, bad things will happen to them. Like somebody is working very hard, but he will get less result. But somebody has not worked hard, but he will get many lot of results. Like I would see during engineering college time, there will be some boys, so 4 year for 4 years they want to study much, but they got a bigger package. But some boy working very hard may not have got a bigger package. So many of you have, this placement thing would have understood that how this kind of disparity happens in life. And sometimes you see somebody is very good, everything is going nice in his life, and suddenly some big unhoni will happen and say, अरे इसके साथ ऐसा कैसे हो रहा है? We may ask a question. So what is destined? So many people talk about, destiny, karma hai ya deva hai, ya kya ho raha hai. So what is this mechanism we are going to learn in this 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which will very much help us. So do you want to know about law of karma more? Then please write yes in the chat reply. So I'll be inspired to tell you more. Please write yes if you want to know more about this karma. Okay, so what is destined? Our past actions have created our present destiny. So आज मैं जिस सिचुएशन में हूं वो मेरे पुराने कर्मों पे बेस है. ऐसा नहीं कि गॉड इज पार्शियल टू मी. मैंने जो बुरा कर्म किसी के साथ किया है उसी के कारण मेरे साथ बुरा हो रहा है. Now there may be some actions which I have not done in this life, but the result is coming from my past life. और मैंने कुछ चीजें जो पिछले जन्म में अच्छी करी थी उसका फल मुझे आज मिल रहा है. टुडे आई एम गेटिंग द रिएक्शन ऑफ दैट. एंड दैट्स व्हाई सी कोई रातों रात एकदम अमीर बन जाता है. ही जस्ट बिकम्स रिच out of nowhere because of his last life some quota is there which comes, and our present actions will determine our future destiny. तो आज जो मैं कर रहा हूं, अगर मैं किसी के साथ बुरा करता हूं तो कल को मेरे साथ भी बुरा होगा. इफ अगर इस जन्म में नहीं तो अगले जन्म में. Somebody could murder somebody but may escape from the state law. Government may not able to punish, but God, he cannot escape the law of God. So just like there's a law of man-made law of the civil laws, same way there's a law of God. So one is destined to be born rich, poor, learned, illiterate, healthy, sickly. But what is not destined? हमारे हाथ में क्या है? How we will use whatever given to us. So if you're born in a good family, how do I use it? Do I use it for going in a path of drinking, smoking, or do I use it that to get a good degree in a college, we become nice and use it for God? So how we will use all resources gifted to us in this life, beauty, wealth, education, etc., is not destined. So that means I always have a free will that whether I go towards God or whether I go towards sinful activities or I do activities which will bring distress to me for future. Like it's in my choice. So the free will is with us. So what is the correct understanding? See, many people say you will heard, oh, जो होना है हो जाएगा, देवा. Everything is determined by destiny. Like Dhritarashtra, जो होना होगा वो हो जाएगा. Some people say destiny, destiny क्या बोलते हो? We will try to do, what? We will show it by our own endeavor. But now, how do you understand? Destiny determines the consequences of our action, not our actions themselves. So, for example, of a farmer. So, if you see a farmer is plugging a field. And while plugging the field, the farmer, what is happening? If rainfall does not come, suppose the tube well is not there, he's dependent upon rainfall. If the rainfall does not come, no matter how much the farmer will endeavor, will crops come? No. But if the rainfall comes, but if the farmer says anyway jo kheti honi ho jayegi, so let me not worry. So will crop come if it does not till the land, does not pour the seed in the field? So that means he need to put the seed in the field and at the same time he is dependent upon the rainfall, right? So in the same way, for getting results in this world, we need a past karma as well as our good deeds. So both are important. So many times our deeds may be good, but if the past is not good, we may not get the desired result. But sometimes even with less endeavor, person may get it. But zero endeavor, person may not get it mostly, right? Like even a lion will not get its prey if it's sitting idle. No prey will come to it. He has to make a choice, isn't it? Now, the question comes, but so this is in regard to material field. In material way, we cannot change destiny. But if we take shelter of the Supreme Lord, he can change our destiny like the way he changed for Sudama. But we need to do our effort. So I hope this concept of law of karma is quite clear and more questions we can take. But why I'm taking this? Because we are going to understand one more very important concept which will very much help us in our life. And what is this concept is three doers. So this is from Bhagavad Gita only. So what this three doers speak about, there is Jiva, Paramatma, and Prakriti. Now, many times you've seen something we're desiring, but it's not happening. But suddenly it happens one fine day, even without our doing it. And and sometimes you just desire, immediately things happen. So how this function work? The soul is there. So when we desire, the Lord sees whether I deserve it or not. Like whether, like suppose somebody desire to become a prime minister. So just by desiring, can he become prime minister? No, Lord will see whether he had done sufficient homework that he become a prime minister. Then Lord may guide him how to become a prime minister and he will arrange that situation for him. So Lord will sanction and orders Prakriti. Lord is a neutral witness. So if something is happening, though the Lord is sanctioning, but the responsibility is with the Jiva. But unless the Lord sanction, it will not happen. So we are not independent. Like for example, I can say I can move my hand. But suppose if I get a paralysis, can I move my hand? No, because Lord has given me freedom to move this hand, and till the time I don't have paralysis, I can move the hand. So just like there is a circuit board, like a circuit board is there in a home, you have a switch for putting the light on and off. But but it can work on and off till the time the main supply from the transformer is on and off. Right? If the main supply from the transformer is off, then no matter how much on and off I do, the light will not come on. Right? So just like there is a circuit board in a home,
So, okay, I understood. What you wish to say is like the Paramatma is the one which gives the sanction to the desire of the soul, and then it's the material energy, the matter altogether, which helps in providing or fulfilling that wish of the soul. But at the same time, as much as I could understand, the concept was that to fulfill a desire, we should first deserve it. That deserving is like the karma which we have. Nice. So as early morning we were discussing, myself and Shiv Raja Krishna ji, is that I want to purchase a particular apartment. That's my desire, but I may not have sufficient money to have it. Like in Bangalore, a 3 BHK may be worth crore. I may not have that much actually. So in this way, if my understanding is correct, I have understood this karma, that the deserving factor is judged by
better you present the slide, huh?
the deserving factor is judged by Paramatma, desire is done by Jiva, and then according to the instruction or manipulation of Paramatma, Prakriti fulfills the desire of the Jiva. Is this understanding correct, Shivaji Krishna Das ji?
Yes.
Okay.
So there's a right
Again,
understanding.
yeah. But a question will come up here then. So, in one sense, the jiva, the soul, is controlled by the sanction of Paramatma and fulfillment of the desire by Prakriti. So, how does the jiva desires get independent? Something like that, right? It seems to be very much dependent here.
Yeah. So the Jiva has this independent desire. How? Because see, just like a father gives free will to the child,
Okay.
right? Father doesn't control. Like suppose, like example, I'll tell you. Like if a child wanting to do something, father will let him do sometimes. Like suppose Srila Prabhupada gives example, if a child is wanting to touch fire, so what the father may do, let him touch, but as soon as you go close, he will bring him back. So he and realize that I did something wrong,
Oh, more. Yeah,
right?
I got.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that he doesn't go into further trouble again.
yeah, got it. Thanks.
Okay. So should I continue ahead? If your question is answered?
Yeah, my question is answered.
Okay. So therefore we learn a new mantra. And what is this new mantra? Man desires, God sanctions, and material nature executes. And if we have this formula, we attain a peace formula. We become very peaceful in our heart and mind, right? Okay, go further ahead. So very nice concepts going to come. Go to the next slide. Yeah. So now we are going to discuss something very important. What is the benefit of the knowledge of soul? Yeah, previous slide. What is the benefit of soul? So repeat after me. It's a very nice shloka. Vidya Vinay Sampanne Brahman gavi hastini shuni cheva shapake cha pandita samadarshinaha. The humble sages, by virtue of true knowledge, see with equal vision a learned and gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater who's an outcast. Right? Next. So, how we see the practical application of it? Like we see this elephant. We see this elephant, this dog, this cow, this human being, all are spirit soul. So this is the qualification of a pandita. Like for example, one time what happened, there was Ishwarchand Vidyasagar. He went to a party. Ishwarchand Vidyasagar, he went to a party. And while he went to the party, because he was wearing old, dhoti kurta and old clothes, people did not allow him to come in the party. The watchman did not allow him. So then he came back and wore a very nice dress and came back to the party. And that time he allowed the watchman. When he entered the party, what he started doing, he took his kurta and put in the soup. He made a plate and put in the dal, put in the soup, that kurta, right? And what happened after he put the kurta? People asking, Are, why you're making the clothes? Eat the food. You should eat. And he said, See, when I wear the old clothes, you did not allow me. When I wore the new clothes, you allowed me. So that means you have called the clothes for the party, not me. So people make so much differentiation based on the externals. मैं कैसा दिख रहा हूँ, मैं कैसा लग रहा हूँ, and so much people take tension. Like, you know, there were two fat ladies coming once for a pravachan. And as soon as they heard that we are not fat, we are not lean, we are not thin, we are spirit soul, they became very happy. Because everybody would tease them that you're fat, you're fat, you're fat. They came to know, "Oh, we are not fat." So many times, like many times people have complex, oh मैं मोटी दिखती हूँ, मैं गोरी काली दिखती हूँ, मुझे कौन लड़का वो करेगा. So much complexes people carry just based on their physique. Oh, my height is not much, my voice is not good. So because we do not see the atma, same way we see a beggar, we see a poor person, we were saying, see, ये गंदा है. But we understand that everybody is a spirit soul. So same way, the same spirit soul is even in the animals. So a learned person sees that everybody is a part and parcel of God, and the same soul is in everyone's heart. That's a learned person sees, isn't it? In the same way, the animals are also see the animals also go through the same pain. Like one time, one child was there, and his father was cutting the uh, father was making shave, and father got cut, and father was crying. Ki, beta, bring something. And son gave, there. And son asked, Father, yesterday you were cutting the murga, and murga was also bleeding. The cock was also bleeding. Did you not felt that he was also feeling the pain? So many times people may ask that why do bad things happen to, why should we have vegetarianism? Why should not kill? Because the animals also feel the pain as we do. And that's why there's a data which we'll see in the next slide. Though human population is 7 billion, still they kill 72 billion animals in a year. When animals suffer, they also suffer as we suffer. Right? When animals are suffering, they are also suffering as we suffer. And that's why we can see the material nature is giving reaction when we kill, because the reactions come in the form of tsunami waves, in the form of pandemics, right? The nature reacts because every living entity is a son of Mother Nature. Next. So now we talk about of universal brotherhood. Like you can see in this, now there's a big issue in America going on, white versus blacks. But if you see, both whites and blacks are split soul. Now what is the difference? Only appearance is the difference, but both are split soul. Indian and Pakistani, Hindu, Muslim, rich, poor, educated, illiterate, beautiful, ugly. This all on a bodily consciousness. So if the whole world knows this knowledge of a split soul, can you imagine how the soul will change, how the world will change, how everybody can live very happily? And that is called universal brotherhood, that even animals also live happily, free from fear.
Swamiji, can I ask a question here? Thank you for telling this wonderful knowledge about the soul. Because from the perspective of soul, we can see the whole world in a vision of universal brotherhood. But my question is, if every living entity is essentially a spirit soul, then why in the name of religion do we have so many isms like Hinduism, Christianity, Buddhism, Sikhism? So why have we created these false distinctions in spite of the fact that every living entity is actually a spirit soul?
Yes, it's a very good question. Even I have. If there is one God, why there are so many religions? And that's what we're talking. We are soul. Now, is the Hindu soul different? Muslim soul different? Right? They are both same, isn't it? Hindu soul and Muslim soul. Paramatma is the same God is there. Same super soul is in the heart of a Muslim and Christian or a Hindu.
Yes.
But still people fight. Very amazingly, right? So that's what this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita was spoken when there was no Christianity, no Islam, no Judaism. It was spoken 5,000 years before, and there's only one single dharma named Sanatan Dharma all over the planet Earth. And these divisions are human made. Though the messengers have come from the God, but people have made distinctions, right? That even before Britishers, Hindu Muslim live very happily in India, understanding each other's God is the same person. So just like there are many sun, like you sun is one, but many names of sun. Like you may call it Surya. What you call in Telugu? The sun?
Suryudu.
Sururu. And we may call Ravi, Suraj, Bhaskar. One sun, many name, but it's one. The same one God.
Yeah.
Somebody call as Allah. Somebody may call as Christ. Somebody may call as Krishna. Is the same one God. We unnecessarily divide. And that's why this knowledge is so much important. It can unite the whole world. And it can give so much, this knowledge of soul, if actually we try to apply in life, so much positivity it can give in our life. Isn't it?
Definitely. Yes, yes. This gives a very broad explanation and understanding of why actually there is one God and how we have understood him in a different way.
Yes. And now we are
Thank you very
going
much.
towards a very amazing session. What we are talking about, the liberation. What is, many people say, what is this liberation? What is this talk about? So let's go to the next one. So I've said, imagine a body. So I hope all of you had imagined that kind of body. So please go further. Yes. Now this is exercise for all of you. A problem can be considered a real problem if it fulfills the following three criteria. Yeah, put the three criterias. One is it's common to all. Nobody wants it. Nobody can avoid it. So I just want to know, please write your answer in the chat reply and I would see them. So one example could be COVID-19, but another example is you think, which follow this criteria.
But COVID-19 is good for hospitals, isn't it, Shri Krishna ji? They are earning a lot in COVID. So you are saying that problem should have three criteria. It is common to all. Nobody wants it. Nobody can avoid it. So let's see the chat box, what people are saying about it. And there are many things. COVID-19 stress is bad for me, but it's good for doctors, psychiatrists. Terrorism, wars. Okay, wars are real problem, but wars are good for weapon industry. Old age is common to all. Yeah, terrorism is not common to all. Many countries are there which are free of terrorisms, right? So it is not able to fit in that criteria. Nobody can avoid it. Yes, so COVID fails one more criteria. People can avoid COVID-19, right? In real problem it should have three, that no one should be able to avoid it. But COVID-19 can be avoided by wearing mask and social distancing, etc. Time is a problem, or time is a fortune. It depends how we utilize it. Excessive sleeping can be avoided actually. So let us do some brainstorming. Death of loved ones. Yeah, death death is common to all. Yeah, death is avoidable. No. Yeah, death is a real problem. Got it. Loneliness. Okay, loneliness. Let us check the criterias. Loneliness is common to all. No, not everyone feels lonely, so we cannot say loneliness is a real problem. Okay, maybe work pressure for working people. Let us check again. Is work pressure common to all? No. Some people are quite cool while they work. It's not common to all. Nobody wants it. People wear big t-shirts, workaholic. They may want it, right? Okay. Let us do some more brainstorming. Death is one problem. Hunger can be avoided, right? Not everyone is hungry, first of all. Another thing is, yeah, no one wants to be hungry, that's right, but it fails first criteria. And it can be avoided actually, hunger. How? By external efforts we can feed the person, but death, I find like no one can protect from death actually. So I feel that hunger is a temporary problem, it's not real problem. Okay. And poverty is there in every corner of earth, of world. Is it? There are many posh areas in Bangalore, right? If you go to Juhu area of Mumbai, I live in Indore. It's quite very nice area. Where do I live in? Poverty is not common, people are rich. If you see monetary, it's like that. So I find the discussion of the audience that Shivaji Krishna ji, we had a discussion that's all through the chat
Yeah,
box.
I saw that. I saw that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we
Okay.
found that death is one of the common problems we could see. Yeah.
Yes. So the common problems are diseases, old age, and death, which nobody can avoid it. And then because of all that, one has to take rebirth. So birth, old age, disease, and death are the common problem. So liberation means getting free from such conditions such as old age, diseases like corona or any COVID or any other disease, death, and taking birth again and suffering again in this world. Because if we attain, so I was talking, you remember I was talking about all the conditions, right? Therefore, we are talking about all the conditions what may happen in this world. Ki if you want that without any flight, you can go anywhere, no fear of disease, no fear of death. So that's what means liberation. No pressure of work also, but always you can be happy. And that's what is a spiritual world, the kingdom of God. And that's why last session we are discussing, Lord Krishna says, Tattva Deham Punna Janma Na Eti Mam Eti. So Arjuna, if you know my transcendental birth and pastime, you don't come to this world again, you come with me and you enjoy forever. So whatever conditions, if you remember we talked, is possible if we practice this Krishna consciousness and go to the kingdom of God, which we are going to discuss more in our further sessions. In the eighth session, you will come to know more details. In sixth session, you'll come to know some more details. Seventh session, you'll come to know more details. So just away tune, and we will come to know how we can achieve such a body, what I was mentioning in the beginning. It's not a myth, it's not imagination, but it is possible. But please keep coming to explain you. So the next, go to the next slide. So here, yeah. So this verse comes, Yehi sansparsha bhoga dukha yonya evate adante vante kontaya na teshu ramate pudaha. So what this verse says, happiness due to sense objects becomes the source of misery. Such happiness has a beginning and an end. For example, eating more gulab jamuns can lead to dysentery. So, see, the happiness in this world has a beginning and an end. Like, for example, if you're eating one gulab jamun, you can give the slide control, stop sharing the slides. Yeah. So, if suppose we eat a gulab jamun, so the first gulab jamun gives a great taste. Second gulab jamun, little lesser taste. Third, little lesser. Fifth, lesser. Seventh, अब और नहीं चाहिए. Eighth, oh अब नहीं चाहिए. Ninth, no. 10th, no. So the happiness curve is started increasing then decreasing. The happiness has a beginning, the happiness has an end. But as you remember, the spiritual world, we talk about that happiness has neither beginning, neither end. Okay. So having extramarital relationship will lead to abortion. People suffer. Like what begins with a relationship with a girl and boy, but may become a very tense moment in future, isn't it? Like taking cigarettes, watching movies, watching porn movies, dirty movies. So they may become a habit. So initially it may look like something very good, but ultimately this places control. And therefore Lord Krishna is saying that those who are intelligent, they look for something higher happiness. They do not look for this happiness. So this is, so then how we can find that kind of right happiness? So let us see. This point, it will really be convincing how to attain liberation. So conditions are imposed in the gross body. Like now we say, okay, I was talking about that body, how can I change it? Now, if suppose you purchase a computer, once you purchase a computer, you cannot change its hardware, right? The hardware will remain the same. But what we can change is the software. So the software is like the subtle body. So conditions are imposed in the gross body, but conditionings are imposed in the subtle body. So those who are free from anger and all material desires, who are self-realized, self-disciplined, and constantly endeavoring for perfection, are assured of liberation in the Supreme in the very near future. What does this mean? Now, software affected with virus means disturbed mind, irrational intelligence, puffed up ego. Software free from virus, purified mind, spiritual intelligence, ego engaged in service of Lord. So if you remember the exercises done in the second and the first session, we have discussed how the mind, uncontrolled mind, gives us so much unhappiness, right? If the intelligence is not rightly utilized, how the intelligence gives us problem. And due to egos, we get so many fights. So what happened, this conditioning, like bad habits, they are in the subtle body. So when we chant Hare Krishna, when we read Bhagavad Gita, we do the chanting of the holy names of the Lord, we serve the Lord, our subtle body is changing, just our concepts are changing, and just by changing that, our we are achieving peace. And now we will learn how to attain that liberation, and that comes from this peace formula. How to attain peace. And that's why this is peace formula. So we could not change the hardware while we are living, but we can surely change the software, which automatically give us an understanding of liberation. Understanding, the mind becomes very happy. And what is this formula? Formula comes here. Bhoktaram yagatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvbhutanam gyatva nam shantim richati. So what does this mean? Bhoktaram yagatapasam. Lord is the supreme enjoyer. Sarvaloka maheshwaram. Lord is the supreme proprietor and controller. Suhridam Sarvbhutanam. God is well wishing for everyone. Sarvbhutanam, Suhridam. See, if you know and knowing this, you will attain peace. Like, for example, even your father, when we were child, even our father will, put us and, uchhal denge. He will throw us in the air and pick us. But we have faith because my father is in control, nothing will happen to me. The same way, when we understand that God is in control, God knows everything, God is a proprietor, and He knows what is best for me, then I attain peace. And I hope you would have watched that video. Trust God, no, no God, trust Krishna. If you have not watched that video where that a sailor comes to the deity, the sweeper changes himself to the deity. So right no, if we find many no's, we may again play that video. Let us see in the chat box. So how God is supreme controller. Now you see the animals. In animals also there's a hierarchy. Frog eats the flies, snake eats the frog, eagle eats the snake, and human beings can eat all the animals, right? In Wuhan, all the animals are eaten. Whatever flies, whatever is down. So human beings control all the animals, but above human beings are the demigods, the agents of Lord. Now, how do now understand? Are there some devtas or some controlling agent? Just understand, when we go in the toilet and put a flush, many ants may die, and ants may not never know what had happened to them. In the same way, when tsunami comes, earthquake comes, pandemic comes, they're controlled by higher agents of the Lord named Devatas. But we may not know that somebody is controlling us. But even these Devatas, Surya, Varuna, Indra, Vayu, Agni, they are controlled by Lord Krishna, by God, who's the supreme controller, right? So everything is controlled by the Lord. Now, very amazing point we can see, when we in this world, when we use something for unrestricted enjoyment. See, God has given us everything to utilize for understanding the purpose of human form of life, which is self-realization, to connect ourselves to God. A human being can understanding, why am I suffering, right? So God has given us such facilities. But when we use it for unrestricted enjoyment, for example, TV, internet, so it can be misused, it can be used. So one example is giving here, watching Western.
Okay.
so
Uh,
so so watching Western culture, and what happens, culture in children is going down in the families, and families are breaking, divorce cases are increasing, which don't used to happen in India before much. But now the culture, our Indian values are degrading because of the watching Western culture. But the same TV and internet is used for watching Ramayan, Krishna serial, attending Gita sessions. What happens? It brings peace of mind, it brings a good culture, it brings happy family, right? So the same thing can be you when used in the service of Lord, gives a lot of things. Like all of you are watching, you're using this YouTube, this internet, for knowing about lot about God and about connection with God. So it will bring you peace of mind. But the same way it can be misutilized. The same way we see, there are like, now do this exercise. Can you say about these things, which how we can misuse them or how we can use them? For example, vehicles. When we have vehicles, how we can use them, how we can misuse them. So if we use the vehicles, see, if everybody has a car in the city, what happens becomes a traffic jam and so much pollution. But if it is controlled way, the same vehicle can be used for going to a place, for getting food, nourishment, and used for a healthy living. Same vehicle can be used for propagating the message of Bhagavad Gita. Same way, when the fields or the farms are used for growing tobacco, it harms people. But the same field is used for growing grains, it helps people. Now, God is the supreme enjoyer. Like you see this Bill Gates and the employee working in Microsoft. A few friends who are working in Microsoft. Now, very amazing how God is the supreme enjoyer and we are also enjoyer, but we are dependent enjoyer. God is independent enjoyer. So let us understand this concept. Now, suppose if this employee say, I'm not working to Bill Gates, what Bill Gates will do? He or through his CEOs or other people, he say, you go from the company, I will hire another one. But if Bill Gates says that I close the company, then all the employees they become jobless, right? All the employees they become jobless. And Bill Gates can close a company and take all the money with him. So that means the employees are depending upon the Bill Gates. So he's an independent enjoyer and the employees are dependent enjoyer. So in the same way, God is independent enjoyer. That means if we do not worship him, it does not matter to him. But if we do not worship God, we will not be happy in this world, right? And we see video. I hope there's no time. We'll see. So the mantra is. So what the mantra do we learn from this? No God, no peace. If you do not know God, no peace. But if you know God, no peace. And that's why recently the American president called for all people of all religion to pray in the White House, to pray to God to help during this time of pandemic. And even a Hindu priest also went who recited the prayer of Rigved. So that means our technology, whatever advancement we do, we cannot bring peace in society by ourselves if we do not know God. But if we live God conscious, we can have a happy life. So today's summary: man desires, God sanctions, matter nature executes. No God, no peace. So,
Uh, yeah,
questions? Thank
thank
you.
you very much. Just I want to like more have more deeper understanding about this. That you said peace formula, these three things, and then liberation. So how by understanding peace formula I will get liberated? How my karma reactions will be broken, and how by doing understanding this peace formula I will be able to get that blissful body.
Yeah, very nice question. What is the concept of like with liberation and knowing about God, knowing the space formula? Yes. See what has happened because we've disconnected ourselves with God. Therefore, there is a viruses in our mind. There are conditionings, and therefore there is distress. So, but when we connect ourselves to God, which is the nature of soul, like if you remember what is right ego, that I'm a servant of God. Like you see Hanumanji,
Yeah.
Jai Shri Ram, right? Now, Hanumanji is very strong, very powerful, right? But in the service of Lord Ram, and he looks so happy. Why? Because he's serving Lord Ram. So when we serve Lord, there's a great happiness in our heart. There's a pastime also of Hanumanji. So one time Lord Ram was sitting on the Singhasan in Ayodhya, and Hanumanji coming. And Hanumanji was, uh, and Lord Ram said, Hanuman, you sit with me, beside me. Hanuman said, no, Lord, I'm your servant. I want to sit in your foot only. And Hanumanji is so happy, feeling himself as servant of Lord Ram. Now, same way you see Arjuna and Lord Krishna. Now, Lord Krishna is ready to become a charioteer of Arjuna. Why? Because Arjuna is follow the command of Lord Krishna. So Krishna is becoming charioteer. So there is a great reciprocation. So if we know there is somebody, like yesterday I gave the example of Mr. Patel who said, I know my God
Yeah.
is there
Yes.
to protect me. So in all situations, God is there. Just make him a center of life. Serve
Okay.
him. Life will be so happy and nice. And as further sessions continue, we'll discuss more upon it. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, one question is by Shri Shivalingappa ji, and myself have the similar question. Like we understood that COVID-19 is disease and comes in the category of real problem, but COVID-19 can be prevented through precautions. Diseases can be prevented. So, like I would like to understand here, what do we mean by disease, and then how that definition of disease comes in the category of real problem.
Yeah. So see, through science, we have eradicated many diseases, like polio is no more.
Yeah.
But there is no cure for cancer. There's no cure for AIDS.
Yeah.
So one disease goes, another disease comes, but the disease remains. So the word disease is not able to eliminate. Now also, COVID-19, you may avoid it. But if you go when you restrict yourself, that means COVID has affected the whole world because all international flights are cancelled just from 1 month back. Can you
Yeah.
avoid it? Can any country avoid it? So that means it has affected the whole world. So it's a real problem. Nobody can avoid it. Nobody wants COVID,
Yes.
and it's common to all.
Okay.
So that's a
Understood.
real problem, right? So till the time vaccine comes, we can't avoid. But if one disease goes, another disease comes, and there are already so many diseases which we do not have any cure.
Yes.
Okay, even you cure, right? There's no cure for old age. There's no cure for diseases, death. So much
Yeah.
people have fear. See, why COVID people are not so fearful? Because in youth, generally you get COVID, get cured in 7 days, 14 days, not big. But we see a graph, many people are dying, right?
Hmm.
And we may spread it to old people who are very vulnerable to it. So that's a fear. Actually, COVID fear is fear of death, right? Because there
Yeah.
is no cure to it. And if one gets it, we don't know if survive or not because there's a death rate. So we all are
Hmm.
trying. But we are talking of a solution by which we completely overcome this fear of death. And that's what Bhagavad Gita is teaching us. And that's why remember our advertisement? A vaccine more powerful than COVID vaccine. Even COVID goes away. A vaccine for COVID comes away, but the fear from life of people will go, the stress, tension will go. But by the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, it will surely go away.
Okay. Got
There's
it.
a power
Thanks.
of Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah.
And I
Thank you
can
very
give example, few example also. There was Sridhar Maharaj. He was Srila Prabhupada disciple. So he got a kind of cancer, some liver tuberculosis type in liver. So he came to Mayapur, like Vrindavan. Mayapur is a place like Vrindavan. So he came to Mayapur, and as soon as he landed in Mayapur, he was completely free. And doctor came to him, you know, Are, you are very, in the last stages, you are going to leave your body. Of course, he was quite aged, 60, 70 years. You know, what did he say? Doctor, it's a boy or a girl? So he started completely stressed because he know after this life, I'm going to meet my Lord in the
much.
kingdom of God. So I'm giving this body. So no stress. That means he's overcome the fear of death. So we do not have control over the circumstances of this world, but we can transcend the conditions of this world. We can transcend the things in this world, isn't it?
Okay.
That is in our hand,
Understood very well. Thanks a lot. There is
right?
one question, and I feel it's from a JE aspirant, and I'm feeling a lot for him, my friend. He's asking that I got very good marks in 12th class, but many of my friends are saying that I will not get good rank in the JEE. So since they are saying so much negative things to me, I'm getting depressed. Please say something which will help me. Is question clear to you?
Can you repeat again?
There is one JE aspirant, and his friends are demotivating him by saying him that you may not be able to score very good in the JEE. You don't have those qualities, and he's feeling anxiety in the mind. So he wants that.
Okay.
How should he?
Yes, actually, even I had faced those circumstances while I was preparing for IIT in 2003. And I was preparing first you have to go to coaching institute those days, in Kota. So I did not got selected even for that coaching institute test also.
Hmm.
So I was depressed. But then, I had faith in God. I continue and I got into another coaching institute, but next year I got selected into IIT JEE. So these types of positivity, negativity will come. But at the same time, we should also look for a practical. We should understand what is practical. So while you're aiming for JEE, but you should also know, okay, in case I'm not able to do this, I should have the lower platform also ready for me. So you
Okay.
prepare for JEE, but also keep the lower platform ready. Like suppose the lower maybe PESU or I don't know, CET. So you prepare in such a way that the lower is also covered. And pray to God and He knows what is best for you.
Same problem, the like sarcasm type of problem I also faced. Then near my coaching in Indore, I had Gita Bhavan, and daily I have to go there. Even I found that Srila Prabhupada ji had come to that place, and I used to pray to their Sitaram and Hanuman temple was there, and praying helped a lot. Everyone has to pass to that slanging actually. Thank you, your advice will surely help him. So the chat questions which were coming live on the YouTube are documented by my friend Aditya, so he will carry ahead with those questions, and meanwhile I will look ahead for the other questions and will come back if time permits.
Thank you.
Swamiji, there are
Aditya.
very wonderful questions that our attendees have asked today. So one of our friend has asked, Manjunath, he has asked, how can we actually come out of our past misdeeds if we have already committed them? Is there a way if we can come out of these misdeeds that we have committed earlier?
Oh, yes, yes, there is a way. And that's the whole path of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says that if you come and take shelter of me, you don't have to worry. I remove all your sin. And what you have to do, man mana bhav mad bhakto, madhyaji mam namaskaru. Become my devotee, think of me, worship me. I will remove all your reactions. Sadharman paritajya mamekam sharnam vraja. Aham tam sar papebhyo mokshashami ma shucha. Don't worry, Arjuna. If you just come to me, chant my holy names. The remembering means chant my holy names. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
You don't worry, but don't do those mistakes again,
Okay.
because now you have come in knowledge, so you
Yeah.
don't worry.
Sure.
Hare
So
Krishna.
this must have satisfied our friend. There is very interesting question, another interesting question with regard to the 72 billion species of 72 billion animals that were killed by humans. So our friend asks, so why doesn't God give opportunity to these 72 billion animals to actually escape from this world? So why is he actually being partial to human beings, or is he partial? Can you please clarify on this?
Yeah, it's a very important thing. See, that's why you should understand that we have got this human form of life, how we should value it. Because human form of life is very rare. Only in this human life we can inquire who is God. How can I serve him? Who is God? How can I serve
Serve.
God? How can I come out of all sufferings? Therefore, human form of life is very rare. Now, those people who do not utilize this human form of life, the next life they are given an animal body. So these animals are the one who had that chance before, they didn't utilize, now they become animals. So therefore, we should understand from this that we have got a human form of life, how much we should use it.
Yes. So there is another interesting question that our friend has asked. So if there are souls, then why, if all of us are souls, every living entities are souls, then why is it that the global population is increasing every year? So we learn that one soul transmigrates from one body to another. So if the number of souls in this world are constant, so why is it that global human population is increasing?
Yeah. So if the souls are constant, why human population increasing? See, one thing is the souls are amongst animals also, devatas also, and human beings also. Though we are on this planet doesn't mean we do not know what's life on other planet. Even within this life, within this planet, there is so many life, so much variety of life. Now, so just like in 10th standard, if people of boys of 10th standard don't pass, students of 10th standard, so they remain in the 10th standard, but 9 people also coming in the 10th. So what will happen? Population will increase. So
Yes,
because
yes.
humans are not doing many pious activity, they are not going higher up, but lower people are coming up.
Uh,
So the human population is increasing.
okay, okay. This is a very, very wonderful explanation.
So the quiz has been there on the chat box of YouTube. I request all the participants, please have the quiz and fill it up. If you have any technical issue, you can directly approach the admins of the WhatsApp groups, and they may help you if you're not able to click the options or open up the quiz. But please, quiz is there, and many of you actually are like 96% of our audience are giving the quizzes, and there are nice e-brochures for them. Thank you. Please have the quiz and it will be open for short time. So I should go on with question answer. One more question has come up from one of our friend, and he's asking that, is God a human being like us? And if he is a man amongst us, why we are not able to distinguish him from others?
So can you repeat again once? Is God like?
God a human being like us? And if he is a human being like we see Lord Ram and Krishna, then why we are not able to distinguish him from humans?
Yeah. So actually, as we discussed in last session, the fourth session, what is different between us and God? So God is divine. God has a divine body. Though he may come in a human form like us, but he doesn't have a body like us, bones, bile, blood, skin. Is a completely Sachidanand body. And I gave some examples. When Lord Krishna was born, he said to his mother and father that I gave you benediction that I will come as your son. And this is your third birth and my third appearance. Right? So no child tells to his mother, father like this. And Lord came in a Shankara Chakra Gada Padma form. Second, to save Parikshit, Lord Krishna came in the womb of Uttara and protected Parikshit. Why? Because the super soul in the heart. Third, Krishna and Balaram, they jump from the mountain top, miles high, but nothing happened, no fracture. Because it's Sachidanand body, you can't fracture a Sachidanand body. So though they may appearing in this form, but they are not human beings, they are God. And Lord Krishna showed it right from childhood. While he was few days old, he killed Putna. While he was 7 years old, he lifted Govardhan Hill. So he did such activities to show that only God can do. So there is no doubt that who is God and who are we. And God is like sun, just like we give example of sun. That sun is always there, though it may be invisible to our eyes. So same way Lord Krishna appears and then disappears from our eyes, but is always there. And we call his names, he hears it. I hope that answers the question.
So God is divine, but he appears in a human-like form. And we should map that human beings are made like God, not God is made up like human beings.
Yes, the
He's
Bible says man is made in the image of
yeah,
God. So many times
very
people say that because God is human, we are human, we have given the form of God as human. No, because God has a form like this, he has given his replica of form to the human beings. But
okay.
you see, there is Matsya avatar, there is Kurma avatar,
Yeah.
there is Narsingha. So many forms of Lord are there. Lord of Narayan is four-handed form of Vaikuntha, right?
Yeah.
But we are made in the image of God.
Yeah, I understood very well. And the last question for today, because only we have 1 minute to go. So since on mobile quiz may not, like if you open the quiz, the video may go off. We may post it little later. But the last question for today is a very nice question by Shri Manjunath ji. That is, how to overcome our past bad reactions. I have done in past very bad activities. How can I avoid those reactions? If yes, how?
Aditya asked the same question. I already answered it.
Okay, so maybe the repetition of same question has happened in the chat box. No
So
issue.
you want me to answer it again? Because
I
you might
feel
have
that if we can do that,
yeah.
if we can do that, it will be like soothing for that
Okay.
person.
Um, no, I think. Okay, so I'll give more addition. So I explained that Dharman Paritaja Mamekam Shanavaja Amtam Sarpape Mokshashami Machacha. So we take shelter of God. Okay, I'll give
Okay.
you one pastime of for this. Vibhishan, when he comes to Lord Ram to take Shanagati. So Lord Ram called a meeting of Sugriva, call a meeting of Jamvand, call a meeting of these people. That should we give Shanagati to Vibhishan? Should we test the Vibhishan? Surya said no, because he's a Rakshasa, he will cause harm to us. Jamvan says we should trust, but we should put a spy. Same way Anga said. Hanumanji says that no, I did not see any duplicity in his voice. I can see the facial expression, understand what the person mean it not, but I don't see we can accept him. And then Lord Ram said, Oh, Sugriva, do you think that I fear anyone? By my mere thumb, I can destroy the three worlds. And even if Ravana comes, I will forgive him. And I declare today, anybody who comes to me, chant my holy name, and says I'm yours, I will forgive him of all the sins. Right? So don't worry. Just take the holy name of the Lord, the chanting we have, right? And don't commit the same mistakes again. I think you're muted, Harminder.
Yeah, for avoiding noises, I mute myself. So yeah, thank you very much for your precious time this Saturday, Sunday. We are very grateful to you. Thank you very much. So next time, I think we are meeting on Saturday with the 6th chapter of Gita, and it is, I feel
And it's something very special we're going to discuss. You know what? About
yeah.
yoga, modern age yoga, and more about mind. How mind gives us misery, how we can avoid it, how to control the mind. More
Okay.
depth we are going to go in the next session.
Yes. So it's so we are waiting for it very eagerly. I request all the participants to fill up the quiz. And again, anyone who will read these chapters of Bhagavad Gita, which we are discussing in the weekend throughout the week, he can forward us. Next weekend, his name will be there, like the quiz participants. Another announcement what yesterday Shri Vijay Krishna ji has made, that please make a write-up of your realizations, what you learned in the sessions, either in the feedback or through the WhatsApp, and you will be given a chance to come up here and read those realizations. All the unanswered questions, because many questions are there, will be tackled up through audio, video, or text. You keep on visiting our website for updates, WhatsApp group, and Facebooks. Anyway, we are there to serve you. Again, thank you much all from Gita Life Group. Very, very grateful to you. Thank you very much. Have a nice time. Have a good week. Thank you.